Artwork Plaza. Hopefully we should see ourselves being streamed as well on the quick stream. I know that Kim is with us right now to fix anything that we can. Hopefully we should see ourselves. I think we started well on the quick stream.
we are.
I know that Kim is with us right now to fix anything that we can. Hopefully we should see ourselves. I think we started. There we go. So interrupting myself, which is very meta in Decentraland right now. So we are live now on the big screen in Decentraland Art Week Plaza. We are visiting ourselves in World at 6161, and we are about to start our first MESHfair tour of 2024. So the itinerary for today is we're going to be diving between 3 MESHfair cubes. So we're going to be starting in the MESHfair cube M28 by Metageist, and then going to the cube by Bosque Gracias, and then we're going to be finishing at the cube by Cansy. I'm going to be dropping all the coordinates live on my second computer here in the chat channel. So if you're new to Decentraland, open the chat, click nearby, and I'm going to be dropping the coordinates in here. So the first place we're going to be heading is Metageist cube, which is 6357. So if you are in world now, you'll see the coordinate coming up as a clickable link in the chat. So if you want to just jump on that coordinate, it will take you directly to Metageist Cube. So that's 6357. If you are struggling to hear us in world, you can head to Twitter, which is at Decentraland, and that will give you the live stream of this as voice as well. So let me just write that for everyone joining us in world right now. So Decentraland Twitter for voice. And then we're all going to be jumping using that link to 6357. So I'm going to jump right now. There we go. As we do that, can I bring Metageist and but Danielle to kind of join us as we kind of enter this cube? Metageist, would you like to tell us a little bit about who you are and how this kind of came about for you?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, my name's Lee. I make art under the name Metageist. I've been exploring 3D and AR and VR for about 6 or 7 years now. Very much enjoyed getting into crypto art and NFTs in 2020, and I've stayed in this space ever since. I really thoroughly enjoy it. Most of my art is part of kind of like a long-term collection of art I expect I'll continue to make for many years into the future. It's kind of like me trying to reconcile what it is to be excited by technology and creating these sort of like immersive mirror worlds, while also sort of seeing the metaverse as a bit of an example of humankind's need to have dominion over nature and to pacify and to make it safe. So I've spent a lot of my time over the last few years making artworks, mostly one-of-ones, but a few small additions of schematics for life forms, usually inspired by the sort of nature that isn't really represented in the metaverse, in terms of like bugs and deep sea fish and all the ugly, weird monsters of nature. And this is an example of that. This one is the Observer. It's me trying to sort of express what it might be like to be a digitally native emergent life form in a simulation, waking up and exploring its environment. So you're standing inside a giant eyeball. I've made it as low poly as possible so that it was going to run nicely. There's a few things I would like to do to it beyond where it's at now, but it is like I'm really happy with the way it's come out. It was made in virtual reality. It's all hand drawn in VR. So when I'm making it, I'm standing inside it. So you're seeing it as I did as I was creating it, and I'm going to be sharing some footage of that in a track that I'm going to release in a minute after the show. So yeah, you can see it scans around, looks around the horizon, and it's exploring, and that was the theme of the drop of the collection. And if you look closely as it turns, I've animated lots of tiny little meshes in the sky. So there's stars that twinkle, and there's a shooting star, and there's a sort of like overlay as the eye passes over a building on the horizon, or a termite mound, or whatever you want to say. And that's what it's doing. So you'll notice as it scans around, it sees a star, it sort of like acknowledges a shooting star, and it's learning about its environment. Some people in the room actually will have scouts, which is a collection of mine, and these are little floating single eyeballs, and we are essentially inside a scout. This is a scout's eye view of the metaverse. So we've put ourselves into the retina of the scout, and I would just like to ask everybody to do a dancing emote so I can get some footage for a music video that I'm going to drop about this piece. So if you could do that, that would be great right now. I'm going to try and make it. Yeah, that's it. Brilliant. Use your emotes. I think B brings up emotes. I'm going to do some screen grabs and get some shots of people inside it. Yeah, so this is actually one GLB. It would work in any metaverse space. So it's something that I don't know what it's going to do in the future. We'll see how it goes over the next few weeks. But I'm thinking about developing this further as a concept, and eventually would like to inject artificial intelligence into my animals, and therefore, you know, they will actually come alive and start experiencing the world around them. That's the observer. That's where I'm at with this one. Thanks for joining me. It's really cool to see so many people inside.
This is awesome. So if you are in World, please do a dance for the music video that Lee's recording right now as we're in Lee's cube. Lee, it's fantastic. I love that meta about being inside the eye of a virtual reality animal. Like, how are you gonna extend that next?
Yeah, we'll see about that. I think I've got a bunch of pieces in my history on Super Rare and Nifty Gateway that are kind of like environments that have sort of sentience, and at the moment they don't. They're just sort of like models and me exploring the idea of architecture that's alive. I'm trying to do my best in terms of imagining what we can do in the metaverse that can't be done in real life, that isn't just skeuomorphism and representing real world things, but actually scale is something we can play with, and also what is an entity, when does architecture become a life form. I've done a piece that was hand sculpted. It's in Monaverse. It won a competition and it has a 1-on-1 collector, but it is a sort of like this giant towering life form that also is a bug pretending to be a life form, trying to tempt you in. So I've got a bunch of carnivorous plants inspired portals, and that one is also an augmented reality mask that you can wear on Instagram. So it's architecture and schematics for a life form, but also a mask that you can wear on your face. So I just like exploring with that sort of silliness, I suppose, and trying to share that the sky's the limit, and we don't have to be, you know, replicating things in the real world. We can do some. So I want to meet up. I want to work and collaborate with a dev or an AI expert that can help me inject language models and NPC tech into my animals and let them roam free in different platforms. That's where I'm heading. And I've got some real world sculptures that I'm working on, 3D printed things with computers in them, which is something I'm really excited about. But they're all going to tie together. You'll be able to put on a headset or hold your phone up and have a conversation with the sculpture. And that's my real world stuff that I'm working on at the moment, but that's very slow. So in the meantime, I'm just dropping life forms into the metaverse.
I love this merge between the real life, the metaverse, these creatures that are roaming with all spaces. I think it's just an amazing deep practice that's going on right now with you, Lee. Thank you so much. Danielle, I'm going to bring you in if I can.
Sure.
I don't know where to start. First, could you introduce yourself and say your background and how you got involved with all this craziness?
Sure. So my name's Danielle King. I'm an artist, a curator, a writer, a collector. I have a background in the traditional art world. I worked at the Museum of Modern Art in New York for nearly a decade. I've worked at a big gallery in Chelsea. And I came into this whole crazy Web3 world in about 2020. Jason Bailey, most folks know him as Art Gnome, contacted me. He was starting a company and needed someone with finance and operations experience. I have an MBA, I've worked on Wall Street, and I also have an art background. So it seemed like a good fit. And as part of the onboarding of that company, he set up a wallet for me, sent me some Tezos and said, you know, here's Hicket Milk, collect some work so that you understand what we're doing over here. And since then, it's just been this crazy ride of discovering artists and making art and curating and having a lot of fun and writing also about the space for Right Click Save and for some other entities. So yeah, I came into Mesh last year as one of the curators, thanks to Bay. And I actually, you know, didn't have a ton of experience or exposure to 3D, AR, VR work. And so it was great getting to sort of go through the proposals and learn about all those artists. And again, this year, doing the same, it's been super eye-opening for me and to discover artists that were new to me, and also see some artists like Bosque Gracias, who I know and collect some of their work, see them doing this sort of stuff. And yeah, so that's my little quick bio, I guess. And then this piece that we're in right now, I love it. I find it so fascinating, and it's actually really making me think a lot about, I've been watching the Neil deGrasse Tyson series Cosmos with my kids. And this very much reminds me of that little spaceship that he travels around, right? And he goes to these parts of the universe and goes back in time and all these different things. And like, this is sort of the metaverse equivalent of that a little bit, right? Like, and in this, we're not constrained by anything. You can make anything, you can visualize anything. And I just love what you're doing. And I think it's your plans for creatures and all this kind of stuff really intrigued me. So I'm excited to see what you do.
Thank you very much. Yeah, I really appreciate that. I'd love to make some Vimana, like flying machines. And I think we could do that even if it was just faking it with videos on the inside of these boxes. That's a really nice, I like that comparison.
Mm-hmm. Danielle, for you, what were you looking for? To give the background to everyone kind of joining us right now. We're in Decentraland 6161. We've just jumped to Metageist's cube for MESHfair 2024. So if you can join us in world, we're at 6357 right now. So we're inside the cube by Metageist. Danielle King has joined us. She was one of the 15 international galleries, curators, and collectors that helped select from all the applicants that came into MESHfair this year. And from those applicants, we have the 30 artists that you can see with the installations in virtual world in Decentraland right now. So Danielle, for you, when you were looking through, I think we had almost 80 applications to MESHfair from 3D artists from around the world. What were you particularly looking for when you were looking through those?
Yeah, I think for me, it was a combination of both. Was the project proposal compelling and interesting and sort of something new and unique? And then I love the platform that you used for the selection process was great because, you could look at that, but then there also were links to the artist's website or other works. It was very easy to navigate and see examples of things they've done in the past, whether 3D or other types of art. So just getting a sense overall of the artist's practice and how this fits in, looking for something that was both a compelling project and, it seemed like the artist had been doing interesting things. Yeah, it was for me, I was very open to artists that I, didn't know about, as well as the artists in there that I recognize. I wanted to be very much, sort of fair about judging the project, and the body of work openly in that way. And, definitely some of the folks that I cast my votes for were brand new to me, which was always exciting. Like, I love nothing more than discovering an artist that I hadn't been familiar with before, and then following them on Twitter or wherever, Instagram, so that I can, see their works in progress and maybe collect some of their work. So yeah, I think, I didn't have any specific criteria. It was more, things that caught my interest and that had a compelling sort of vision behind them, and that had a thought out plan, I guess.
I think that's a great segue for us, for you as a collector of Bosque Gracias' work, to kind of now dive through Decentraland. We're not going to walk it. You can if you wish, but we're going to do a teleport. So we're going to teleport now by, again, we can put the coordinate into, if I can get my UI back. So a few tips for Decentraland users. If you want to get rid of your UI in World, so you don't like all the bits around you and just want to focus on the art, press U on your keyboard. That'll take it away. Press U again, it'll bring it back. If you want to teleport anywhere, you can go to the chat. The easiest way to do that is you can either go to the chat here or go to the map. Most users like the chat. We just write the coordinate into the chat. So Bosque Gracias, we're going to go now to your cube, which is 6058. And if you press enter, that will give you a link that you can then jump in through. So if you just press that link, we're going to be jumping now to Bosque Gracias' cube at 6058. I'm going to write that in the chat as well. And while I'm doing that, I should say that if you are on the tour with us right now, you can actually claim a special tour NFT from MESHfair by going to meshfair.com. on MESHfair.com, you have all the information about the artist. So you'll see on each of these cubes, there is a short description about the cube, but there's much more information about the cubes on MESHfair.com. And so if you'd like to head there after the tour or right now, you can see that there is a form about claiming NFT. If you'd like to share a photograph of yourself on this tour, either on Twitter or Instagram or any social media platform like Lens, you can then link to that via the NFT form and I can send you one to your wallet. So we're going to be diving now to Bosque Gracias at 6058 called the Compost Truck. And I'm really, really interested in this installation because it links some real world places with Decentraland. We are in. Awesome.
We are so happy, really happy about this invitation for us, because for us it's like a dream, working on metaverse and bring some nature. We love to work with nature, and we love to work with objects that are in real life. This track is a track that is inside the forest in our area, in our field. We are a community-driven group of people, so we live here in this place that it's a field, a forestry from Patagonia, and this track is like a abandoned track in the middle of the forest, and one of our creative thoughts and ideas about the track is what we do with the track, really. So this is like, for us, is like the initiation, the part A from a project that is this track and what we will do with the track. So to have this inside the Decentraland for us is like a dream making reality, you know. We have here in this cube, we are working with GLBs and 3D via NFTs, working with compost. We made a series of compost like garbage that in the time grows and start growing in plants and trees, and that work is inspired by our life here on the forest. And we wanted now in this cube to work with something about the permanency and the habitating a place. We only took the walls to give space to all of you now inside the cube. For us, it's really exciting to see all the people there dancing, because we wanted to do like a party. And to do a place of reunion, because that about us, about being a community of people, we wanted to share that enjoy. About we are a community right now, the people that is in this stream and the people that is on the Decentraland enjoying, that is a value that we want every time to talk about it on our art. Here on the walls and on the floor there is some scans of the work of Rocio that is here at my side. Rocio works with leaf and natural inks and fabrics. So here is reunited all our techniques speaking at the same time, you know, the GLB representing an object in real life, and the video about the poetry of the water and the flows.
It's such an effective cube. And also, it just crashed my Chrome browser graphics card with how many people are having a party right now in your cube. So absolutely, I think I think you've achieved the party dynamic in this cube right now.
That's what we wanted. We wanted a party. We wanted to be reunited and enjoy the moment. For us, it's a celebration, really, to be here at the Central Land. It's too much.
Can I jump in?
Absolutely.
I just really love how this cube and the different textures and the video and the floor and everything really is so in line with your past work and you know, all of the elements of nature that you use. And I would highly recommend folks check out their other work. They have a lot of pieces on objects that use leaves and lichen and different things with photographs and negatives. And it's just a very beautiful practice. And it's cool to see it in this sort of Decentraland 3D form. It's such a different way to experience your work. And I think you've done a great job translating it to this space.
Yeah, something that I feel speaking about the negatives and photographies that we use, that is photographies and negatives from family vaults. You know, we are always talking about these family values and the past
and all the things that we keep in a place, all the things that I love, all this beauty inside this little cage.
Yes.
I think what's excellent for me is seeing as well how people are interacting with their cube.
Yeah, sorry.
No, it's fine. Just to point out how many people are interacting with this cube as well. We've got Toxic Waifu set up a swing emote on your tree. We've got Derek exploring the top of the tree. It's one of those ones where you really want to start physically inhabiting the space.
Yeah, that was the idea, to enjoy the space in a big space and not occupy all the space with the track, because it's a tiny space. Really, we enjoyed a lot to do this, and the Central Land studio, the software works very well. Was too easy to do this, to work with this. So we wanted that people climbing the tree, people in the track, and is this baffle doing some system, and there is. It's like when we do art residencies here at Patagonia, and we invite artists to do these residencies, and we live like 1 week all together in the same place, and we cook together and we work together and we do a lot of collaborative works. That kind of experience about the community. It's something that we wanted to put it inside the cube, you know?
I love that. It's definitely a fun communal space, and I think reflects, you know, all the things around community and friendship and family that's woven into your work.
Yeah, family. That's it.
And what's next for you as a collective? Where are you going to take this work next?
I think that we can't stop creating things in life, in time, things that take time of living, to process, to think, to be inspired, to take a walk with the kids, to be in an amazing meeting. And I think that for us next is to grow up a bit more with the residencies here and in other places too. It was delicious this summer. We spent a lot of time creating ideas with others that can't stop creating ideas. So that's really huge, to live in that way every day. Every day I want to create something because I'm alive, just for that. So when you start in that mood every day, so you have 2 kids, to grow up with them. They are a lot of information too. every day is a growing step up. So maybe to do what we are doing better, to enjoy that more. I don't know if something new or something bigger.
There is something that I really want to experiment is about the garbage and recycling. You know, here is the truck that is a recycle truck, because something that is on the middle of the forest, forgotten, now is on the central land, enjoyed by a lot of people. It's really big. I really want. When I think what we will do on the central land, and we thinking about garbage, you know, but it's hard talking about garbage with the people, so that is why we talk about compost. Garbage is for us, for recyclers, garbage is like a treasury. You know, you take things from the garbage and you start creating new things. It's a lot of creativity inside the idea of the things that we throw away. So for me, garbage is like a productive. Is a product from human. And I'm thinking a lot about where is the garbage on the central land, for example. It will be very nice to create a futuristic dumpster. I'm thinking about, I don't know, the cities. When you go to the dumpster, it's not a very nice place. Maybe if the cities start to create the dumpster to places where the artists can take things and do creativity, and maybe do a plaza to play, and I'm telling about beautiful places where the garbage is. We made houses with garbage. We made artist pieces with garbage.
My clothes are made with garbage.
Clothes, yeah. Rocio made clothes with garbage. We clothes that is on the dumpster. You know, there is a lot of material there. So we are thinking a lot about the recycling on a metaverse, or recycling on a place where it's virtual.
I love that. And it ties back a little for me to when you were talking about, you know, if you have kids and every day, like there's this change and growth and creation. And it reminds me with my kids, you know, some of their most fun with art and creative projects has been when they fish through our recycling or save something before I throw it away, and they make collages, or they put together, you know, these crazy box towns in my living room where they're taping together boxes and drawing on the boxes. And, you know, you don't need much to make something very beautiful, right?
It's in the cube, the idea of the cube.
Yeah, it's the cube.
Yes,
you know,
the cube.
they have lot of toys, of plastic toys, lot of, but they always play with boxes.
Yes, the cube.
Carton boxes. ¿Cómo es el cartón?
Cardboard.
Cardboard boxes.
Yeah, exactly.
Come on, I bought you a toy, and you play with cardboard.
Exactly.
They are the best.
When I was seeing Mariano building all this cube, fantasy cube, we built the truck bigger than it is now. And then everything was so big, and everything has a lot of textures, like happens in the garbage places, included in the gardens when you have a lot of grass, like the wild grass that has that exploded textures, a lot of little things to see. And it's like, it's a pattern of being alive too, how we throw those garbage. So if we have to make like a home staying for all these people, making a party in a garbage place with a lot of textures. Okay, we have to do the track a little smaller because they need space to move.
To dance. They need a space to dance.
Yeah, they need
Yes.
a space to dance. So it was like building a place to stay, really, to enjoy this moment, staying with us, talking, seeing how that strange glitch look in the back. I mean, if we were projecting things in 2 or 3 projectors and talking with a lot of noise because the music is loud.
Yeah, it seems that we really enjoy this.
I just want to read you out some of the comments as well that are coming through. We have from Lucas Sosa, Bosque Gracias art residency was the best experience in my whole life.
Wow, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
We have people saying, que orgullo, big fan of you. Matteo saying, especially Mario and Ro, Nino, and Benito from Bosque Gracias. So you've got a lot of people giving you shout outs in the messages right now. And I think we can see that the feeling of your residency within the cube. People are just really enjoying this space. So thank you so much for being part of MESHfair this year.
Thank you so much for all of you.
I think we're gonna quickly bring Lee and Cansy in to kind of talk about their response to this cube, and then we're gonna dive into our third cube of the tour. So Lee, are you in the cube with us now?
Yeah. I'm in there. I've been exploring every nook and cranny. Yeah, I was trying to see how someone got up high, and I wanted to try and get up there. They're up there still dancing away, showing off. I was trying to get up there.
I know. I was doing the
I love
same.
it. I really resonate, as you could probably tell. We're on a similar wavelength, really, in terms of trying to sort of get nature into these spaces. And I really like the comments about garbage and detritus and things like that. I think there's something about things that get left behind and left around that make a place feel lived in and alive. And there's something that you don't get in the metaverse. It's just like it doesn't really isn't represented. And yeah, exactly the same with these sort of like bugs as well. From my perspective, certain things deserve to be acknowledged and spoken about. When I jumped into this one, I just thought, how come you got such a bigger cube than me? It seems like it's like 4 times the size. So yeah, you can obviously there's a lot that can be done in terms of like creating different illusions of space with how you building it, and that's been really fascinating as I've jumped in a few of the cubes. It's just like how different they all seem, whereas mine makes it feel like you've been dropped into a tiny hamster ball, and that's because of the design. So yeah, I love it.
Cansy, are you in here with us as well?
Yeah.
Hi, Cansy.
So, yeah, so, I mean, so on what I saw until now, it's like really amazing. And I think it's like, yeah. So, for example, I had a bit chance to walk around and it's like, it really amazes me how much textures you can create in the Decentraland, and with all the glossy effects and all these creative, like, I mean, some things like in this scene look like scans from real world, and it's like, and combined with, I mean, it's just amazing.
On that, I kind of want to ask a little bit more about process before we jump to a very different cube. So we've had 3 different cubes today for people joining us in World. We've started at Metageist Cube at 6357. We're now in Bosque Gracias, which is at 6058. And we're about to jump to Kansy's Cube, which is completely different as well. We're going to talk about space, which is 6358. Before we leave this cube, I too am kind of obsessed by the textures here. And Mariano, Rosalia, how did you get that car into this cube? Like, what was your process of actually taking that from real life and putting it into Decentraland?
Yeah, first we wanted to do a scan, but that doesn't work because there is a lot of triangles and And so we say, okay, hands off on this and start to compose on Blender the car. It's a car. It's not so difficult, but I take the textures, the real textures of the car, and you can see the photo of the truck on our Twitter and other social medias. We can see you can see the how this car is in real life, and there is something special about this. The tree is really on the place. This tree in real life is not growing inside the truck that is here on the central land, but in real life there is a tree that was growing by side the car, and now is like touching the car and eating the car time by time. Is just a thing of time to start growing inside this vehicle. So there is a lot of project about this. What we will do with the car, and this is one of the ideas. A place where maybe a DJ can make music inside with big speakers. That was an idea on the residency, and we are working on that. What we will do with that.
It's so exciting. I urge any Decentraland DJ that wants to do a set here during Art Week, we will set it up for you. Absolutely.
Please.
We're gonna jump now onto our final cube of this tour. We're going to go into 6358. I'm going to put the link down here in the chat for everybody that's in World. So 6358. If you are joining us in Decentraland and wondering what is going on right now, we are on our first live tour of MESHfair 2024. We're joined by 3 artists: Metageist, the Patagonia Art Collective Bosque Gracias, and we also have Cansy, who is going to be showing around his third and final cube of this MESHfair 2024 tour. If you are going to join us a bit later, we are coming back in, let me see, it's going to be 7. So it's going to be about 4 hours time for our second tour of the day. But we're jumping now on the Decentraland tour to 6358. We're going to be going to Kansy's tour. And Cansy, I'm not even sure how this is going to work out for us, because as we will find out, Kansy's cube has a lot of layers. And I don't know whether we're all going to be able to get to the same layer at the same time. It's going to be one big experiment. So as we're jumping now, Cansy, would you like to introduce yourself and talk a little bit about how this came together for you?
But I mean, it's not as bad as everyone is on a different layer. So
we're going to enter now. So we're walking into Kansy's cube, and I'm going to read actually this side. It says, "Rooms, infinity begins here." So that should give us kind of an idea about what we're going to find inside. So we're teleporting in, and we come inside the cube, and we're in a dark room. But what happens if we move towards one of the walls? Can you explain what we're about to see, Cansy?
Yeah, so when you walk near to a wall, you see a portal is popping up. And this portal, if you click on it, will lead you to the next room. And so, I mean, the basic idea was, because the topic of these MESHfair is exploration, I thought, okay, why not create like a lot of rooms? And it turned out that I could create infinite amount of rooms because we are in the metaverse. And yeah, so I created a system in which you can like generate infinitely more and more rooms, and these rooms are reactive to which path you take through the rooms. And yeah, so basically every visitor has an own custom tour in this tour.
I love that. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead, Danielle.
I was just going to say, it reminds me, it's like a visual 3D virtual world version of these books I used to read as a kid called Choose Your Own Adventure. And like, you know, you get to a certain place and you would have to pick, well, do you go to the forest or do you turn back and go into town, right? And then the reader diverges and then there's more choices, right? And with this, because it's in the metaverse, it could be infinite. Like you could just continue on this adventure forever and get lost and never come back. It's kind of fascinating.
Yeah. So this is also like the basic idea behind this. And then we also thought about, okay, if I have infinite amount of rooms, how can you even fill this with the limitations of about 10,000 triangles you can use in a scene with so basically this complete room is completely maxed out on every technical aspect that you can find in size. And yeah, I mean, about the patterns you see, it's also kind of because if you walk through other rooms, you will see there are a lot of different patterns. We have different colors, different movement systems, which you can explore. Also, a voice that you hear from the sky, which a little bit guides you through the scene. And yeah, this and how this works is you can imagine there's like a little robot in the back scene. It reads your room ID, and it has then three decks of cards, one with colors, one with shapes, and one with movement systems. And then it combines these cards to your specific room which you enter. And so you are basically creating your installations partially yourself.
I absolutely love this, Bill Cansy. So in terms of everyone in here, is it right to say they are seeing a different experience in terms of the environment around them?
Yes, true. So if everyone would walk the same path, they will see the same. But I mean, this is basically impossible. This is like the randomness part of this. And if you have time later to walk around again here, you can listen to the voice, the AI in this. And the basic idea from the AI is that it's an AI that tries to predict your movements, but then your random movements start to influence the AI, that it also starts to think more randomly about philosophical ideas and about reality and who is actually watching who, because the AI is first watching you, but actually you are also listening to the AI. And so it creates this loop of interaction between both.
I'm going to try and see if we can hear the AI by switching the mics right now. Just hang on, let's see if I can.
And you also, if you enter the next room, then you hear the next part.
No, I think I'm going to struggle because of all the streaming things that I've got live here. But I think I would urge everybody to come back and listen to the AI part of this experience. It's absolutely fascinating for me, Cansy, how you've linked the AI, the generative works here. It reminds me so much of the kind of next progression of FX hash and art blocks, of being able to then create immersive environments that we can then walk around from all these algorithms.
It's also really crazy to me and kind of blowing my mind that like we're all in this same space, but we're all like seeing and experiencing different things at the same time. It's very, very cool. It kind of reminds me of like, I don't know if any of you have ever been to one of those silent discos where like you have headphones and you can listen to lots of different channels. And so like people are listening to different things and dancing to different things, but you're all in the same room. It's like sort of like that in some strange way. Like you have this personal experience with other people and everybody's kind of in their own zone. I don't know. It's really cool. I love it.
Yeah, and also for example, as I developed this, it was also so mesmerizing to look at these patterns. So like you can really stand around and just immerse yourself into whatever comes, and yeah, it's interesting.
Lee, how are you finding it in the installation?
It's really cool. Yeah, I'm just looking at how my perspective is very different to the feed. So yeah, I think it's really cool. I love people who experiment with again, like things you can't do in the real world, and I really that the silent disco thing was an excellent observation. That's very similar to the ones I've been in, only without the discordant chaos of three groups of people singing badly at the same time, 3 different songs. So it's a lot. This is a lot more enjoyable.
Totally, yes.
Yeah, it's super cool.
Bosque, have you managed to enter as well? We're joining us in Kansy's cube at 6358 in Decentraland.
Yeah, this is amazing. This is something amazing from the technical aspect. It's really extreme. I'm astonished because you have a lot of layers and these cubes. I really love the emissions. The emissions of the Decentraland is something that, because when you modulate on GLB, you are tied from the browser, but on the Decentraland emissions is something that I enjoy a lot. And this cube and the idea about multidimensional, I really love it.
Yeah, it's an incredible cube. I think we've just lost Cansy maybe with his feed right now. Cansy, are you still with us? No, I think he's going to join back in. So we are currently in Kansy's cube in the MESHfair 2024. In the cube 6358, we are exploring together infinite environments created by Cansy within this incredibly multi-layered, infinitely layered cube. I'm going to see if I can let Cansy back into our presentation right now as well. There we are. Cansy, hey, good to have you back.
Hey. Yeah, just got kicked out.
I think it's the layers of the multiverse right now. We're all surfing different levels of interactivity. I know that I think I'm on maybe screen 7 right now of this infinite journey through your cube. What else should we be aware of as we're exploring? We explored the AI voice that's responding to our movements. Can you tell me a little bit about the movement of the cubes? Like, how is this responding to us as well?
Yeah, so first off, it responds to the actual room you enter. So the farther you go away, the more different. So I mean, basically, I think it's easier to explain if I explain the technical, how it works. So each room generates an ID, and from the ID, it's like a long string, like an Ethereum address, a long hash, and then the system takes pieces of this hash and uses this as to find a new shape or system or color. And yeah, so basically this way you can interact with this. And also in some scenes you will see that if you walk near the cubes, they're like going away from you. And especially you see it in scenes where you have straight lines, which in which the cubes follow each other. You can model the shapes, and create new curves and new. Yeah, I mean, you can push them around, and this is also like a fun experience.
I had incredible. A little while ago, I just got kicked out and I'm trying to come back in, but I was like, they were sort of, I walked into them and they kind of like moved and shaped around me. It was very cool that it's like reactive.
Yeah, and also it's also cool because you can some sculptures you can see from outside, and then walk inside, and then they expand so you can look around from the inside, and so you have these 2 point views.
This has been absolutely mind-blowing. The 3 different cubes that we've explored today in this tour, from Metageist, the eyeball within eyeballs within a virtual creature, to Bosque Gracias, transporting Patagonia garbage and waste into the metaverse as a party destination, a room to bring everyone together. And now we have Cansy's installation that is responding to all of us in this virtual environment and creating these infinite versions. We are 5 minutes left. This has gone so quickly. So I kind of wanted to bring everyone in and kind of ask you, for you, what was the most surprising thing that came out of the tour, just to kind of wrap things up? And then so 2 questions. 1, the most surprising thing to come out of the tour, and 2, what do you want to see next? Like what's next for you in virtual worlds? So I think, Lee, would you like to kick us off?
I'm just a little bit dumbstruck by Cansy's spot. So yeah, I haven't been into Central Land much over the years, not as much as some of the other platforms, but I'm realizing just how powerful this builder is. I used the old builder, and I just went back and forth, like dragging GLBs into a builder. I'm always in awe of people that use creative coding to create interactive spaces. So for me, it's just sort of seeing the diversity of what can be done with this platform when you know what you're doing. So I'm really fascinated by exploring that sort of thing a little bit more. Yeah.
Bosque, how about for you? What's been the most surprising thing?
It's hard to tell, but for us, all this is about communication. We are communicating and being together. So that is something that is experimenting with this on this field is something awesome about the possibilities, to communicate, like this cube of Cansy, he's communicating a lot of philosophy and knowledge in only in a artistic piece. It's awesome.
Cansy, for you.
Yes, I mean, like really every installation is amazing, and I think it's amazing how everyone finds an own way to tell a story. For example, Leo's eye, it's like it's so tangible that you're inside this eye. It's this story tells itself, and you can envision so much how it can go further. Maybe think about, okay, where does this eye come from? And also the Patagonia piece it's like really can imagine how maybe the life is there, right? You're telling the story how it's the life is with the also with the tree and the cars. It's like, yeah, you can sit there, listen, look around, and think, okay, maybe I can visit also these places in real life. And so this is also like very inspirational.
Danielle.
I mean, I'm just blown away by the diversity of approaches, and going back to something Lee said, where he's like, "How is their cube so much bigger than mine?" Like that. That given this constraint of this is your cube, right? How differently people can use those spaces and fill those spaces and make you feel like you're in just like a completely different world between these three different installations. So. I'm blown away, and also just technically in awe because I don't know how to do any of this. So it's just very, mind blowing to see the skill as well as the ideas and the narratives that have gone into this. So great job to everyone. I'm really, really blown away.
I think it's speechless, blown away just by the creativity and the diversity that we've just seen on this tour. To wrap things up, we're going to push it a couple of minutes just to ask you all what's next for you, like in a couple of sentences. When you're leaving MESHfair now, what's next in terms of your practice, particularly in virtual worlds? Lee, I'm going to bring to you first.
Oh, I'm wrapping up a couple of collections at the moment, offering some freebies to some collectors from the early days, and then I'm going to be doubling down on these VR sculpted, 3D printed Raspberry Pi wall sculptures that will be like IRL real things with computers in them and screens that will have augmented reality markers and then have like digital overlays on them. And I'm going to have to like shut out everything else, close all the other tabs in my brain and focus on that. And that's what I'm going to be focused on. Other than that, I do a little bit of stuff in schools. I teach kids how to use virtual reality art tools, and I've got a long day with 150 students tomorrow, and I'm going to be teaching them how to use Gravity Sketch. So that's the other thing I'm going to be doing. Busy, and I enjoy it all, and I feel very lucky. And thank you for this as well. MESHfair is phenomenal, and I'm really excited to be joining all the other calls in the future and streams because it's amazing. Thank you.
It's great to have you part of it. No, very welcome. Thank you so much. Bosque, what's next for you?
We will work on the artistic residency a lot of more. Because we have 3 houses, a lot of rooms, so we need to fill that. so that is one of the part, and we are dreaming about traveling. So the idea is to travel maybe Europe and start meeting all of you in real life, because that is something that we really need it. In this area where we are digital artists and on virtual worlds, and we really need to be front one of other and see us and talk and touch.
Come visit us all. I'm sure you'll be welcome in every place that you go, and yeah, absolutely. Cansy.
Yeah, I will definitely expand this infinite room systems. Somehow also maybe fill with something more tangible. And I mean, I have also like different projects that I worked on earlier, like giant spiders with TV heads and eyes looking around. So I definitely want to recreate them in the metaverse. And so they are more lively, because the ones that I've built so far are like real ones, 2 meters in size, but they're just static. And I really would love to see them walk around, walk on the walls, on the ceiling, watching you.
So do I really want to see that.
Yeah.
Gets definitely with me a poke when I can see that.
And Danielle, what's next for you, particularly in virtual worlds?
Well, in virtual worlds, I think I'm going to remain a appreciator, observer, curator. I don't see myself building in them anytime soon, but yeah, I'm excited to follow these artists and all of the artists that submitted to the MESHfair, because they're all doing such interesting and different things. And yeah, and then for myself, I hope to meet Bosque and other folks IRL at some point. That would be lovely. I'm actually going to be in New York next week for NFT NYC, and I'll be on some panels and in some exhibitions. So I'll meet some folks there, and I hope our day will come where I'll get to meet everybody here in Bay. We've been lucky enough to meet, but the rest of you, I'd love to meet sometime.
It's the end. We need to meet everyone. So thank you so much, everyone, for joining us. Whether you're in world, whether you're live streaming with us in Decentraland, in Twitter, on LinkedIn, or on YouTube. The recording of this will obviously be in YouTube if you'd like to catch up with anything that you missed. You can check out everything about Decentraland Art Week right now at decentraland.org/Art Week. Just go to decentraland.org and you'll see a big banner about all the Art Week activities. It's going on now until the end of the week, until Friday the 29th. There are daily tours. So if you want to jump directly to tours, you can either go to Decentraland Art Week or check out MESHfair's site, meshfair.com, where you can also claim an NFT for being part of this tour today. Just drop your selfie on social media, give us a tag, and we will have an NFT on its way to you. Just a huge thank you to everyone that worked both as artists and also on the Decentraland Foundation team on installing these builds. It has been a huge project with so many people involved, and everyone has been just incredible to work with. It's been an absolute pleasure to produce MESHfair. I'm so grateful to be able to open it again this year from the 26th to the 29th of March in Decentraland. And thank you very much to our speakers today, to Bosque Gracias, to Metageist, to Cansy, and to Danielle King for joining us. Thank you so much, everyone. And we'll see you in the next tour in 4 hours' time. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Bye.